here with you. I don't have tea, so I'm just sorry, guys. I don't know I'm gonna have enough energy to teach you guys today. No, seriously though, I'm so excited because today we are unloading some serious content. And the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of you guys have asked this question, Seth, I'm trying to find a product idea, but once I find it, how do I move to production? How do I go from a product idea to full-on manufacturing? Getting it produced and having it into the Amazon's fulfillment center or Shopify's fulfillment center. By the way, did you guys know that's coming very soon? Or eBay's fulfillment center. Can you believe we're talking about this? We're actually talking about Amazon fulfillment centers, not only, but also eBay and Shopify, which I think is amazing. Now, what I'm about to teach you is a result of years of doing this. I've not produced every possible kind of product. So certain areas I'm still learning constantly. In fact, I'm working on a product right now in a product category I've never done before. And there's others where I've done it a ton. So I'm going to teach you the process you need to think through when you go from product idea all the way to production. Get this man some tea. Thank you, Nathan. Hey, Adelie, do you mind getting me some tea? They said someone's got to get me some tea. She says it's cooking. Okay. So when you come by, you need to say hi because everybody wants to say hi to you. Do like a rap or something or play a ukulele? No? She's like, no way. Okay, cool. Hey guys, my name is Seth. Can you keep it real? I'm going to do a very short introduction on who I am for everyone who is new to this channel. Then I'm going to give you some serious content. Be ready. Write it down. Here we go. And then I will go to answer as many questions as I possibly can before I drop. All right? So here we go. So today we're talking about, check out my screen, how to design a product from scratch. Now, first of all, let me just tell you a little bit briefly, why do I do this? I was very, very broke. I was really struggling in my marriage and in my parenting and in my finances and in my self-discipline. Like I really was frustrated. I was in my early to mid 30s and just down on myself and feeling like what do I do next? Is this really what I want to do with my life? I was working for the richest company in the world. It was a 9-to-5 position, but it was from home. Now think about that. The richest company, working from home as a manager, making good money, and I still wasn't fulfilled. And I realized if I really want to do what I love, I need to create margin. But in order to create margin, I need cash. In order to create cash, I need to find another job, right? Well, not really, because that means I'm going to have less time with my family, less time with my friends, and it's going to kill me physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And that's when I began to drive for Uber and Lyft to pay off my car. And in the car, I would listen to podcasts constantly. Andrew Warner, This Week in Startups, any podcast I could get my hands on to try to understand how do you build an online business. And as I did this, I came up with this idea. What if I took a single dime and I just started doubling that? I read somewhere in Craigslist, guy started with a paper clip and he kept doubling it until you had this massively amazing car. Well, what if I did it with a dime? And for some reason, the money, $100,000 entered my mind and I really felt like I could do it. So I just want to introduce you guys to my amazing daughter. She's also the captain of the Warrior Success team. She's awesome. And thank you so much for the tea. I love you. So her name is Adelie. She's awesome. So I had this idea. If I got to $100,000, there's so much I could do with that money. And I realized if I double my dime 20 times, it becomes over $104,000. Just for fun, I still ask people this question. Like a random waiter the other day, I'm like, I'm just curious, man. See this dime? He's like, uh-huh. So how many times do you think I would have to double that for it to become over 100,000? He looks at me. He's like, I'm about 3,000. I'm like, no, just 20. He's like, what? Yes, just 20 times. It is the law of exponential growth. And until we see the value in the little things, we won't be able to grow into the big things. And I knew that's what I needed to do to train myself. So this picture right here of me is me walking around talking to random people. That dude right there, I don't remember his name, but he was a cool dude, is the first guy who doubled my dime. He took me from 10 cents to 20. He doubled the income in my pocket. That man is responsible largely for what I do today. He was the first guy I talked to. He said, yeah, no problem. And I shared my story and he thought it was so cool. And maybe someday I'll meet him again and he can hear about all the things that are doing. We're in over 100 countries. We're the premier coaching company for e-commerce. We are all Amazon sellers. Can I just say that again? I sell on Amazon. I have multiple Amazon accounts. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you just learned I got approved for 2 more Amazon accounts after like a battle since July. And I was so elated last night, I couldn't even sleep. I went on Instagram, I went crazy, and people said, "Are you okay? Are you on drugs? You drinking? What, you need to go to bed?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just very excited about what's going on." Today, I lead Just One Dime. We're here in Austin. We have a team of amazing staff. Josiah's just walking by. You just got to meet Adelie. Amazing people out there who are passionate to help you learn how to build a business. Now, we don't just hawk a course. We teach you how to build a scalable, growable, legal business that works for you instead of you working for it. Okay, introduction's done. Are you guys ready for the content? And what's up, Ido from Austin? So good to see you. Thank you, T. Clapson. Thank you so much. All my kids are teenagers. Half of them are adults. So what can I say? I started young. You know what I'm saying? I had to experience life. Okay, let's do this. Step number one. And again, this is how to design a product from scratch. So you have an idea and you want to turn it into something real. I'm going to show you all the steps. Step number one, you're going to create a solution that fixes a real problem. You're going to create a solution that fixes a real problem. How do you do this? Well, first of all, you just go to yourself. You look at the problems and issues in your everyday life and you say, man, like I keep pinching my thumb. I could fix that. Or I keep stubbing my toe. I could fix that. Or I always notice these packages are hard to open. I could fix that. Or why does my car always bump into the garage? Whatever it is, find a way to look at life through the lens of problem solving. Dylan, our COO, he's an awesome dude. He was talking this morning at a Lee's meeting about problem solving. One of our jobs is to find the problems and fix them. That is one of the fastest ways to make money. If you find a problem and you create a solution for it and you do a good job, people will throw money at you. This is so important. I don't care how cool your product is, how slick, how amazing, how beautiful. If you're not fixing a real problem, people don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your product. And they're just going to go, and move on to something more interesting, like cool videos on YouTube about cats. Dakota did not want to take a shower. Dakota is my dog. Dakota, come here. I will introduce him to you really quick. Dakota, come here. Where are you, buddy? Come here. So this is Dakota. He is the mascot of Just One Dime. He's a good guy. He hangs out with me here. And about once a month, I give him a shower to clean him so he smells good. And he smells good. He's not one of those sneaky dogs. So he dreads going into the shower. Once he gets a shower, he's like all mopey like this while he's getting water on him. He just looks at me. But he hates going in. It's always that first part. And so I was thinking the other day, there's got to be a way to make a dog actually want to get a bath. And I started thinking about a solution to that problem. That's a perfect example. If you have pets and you love pets and you find it hard to get your pet to get clean, what if I could offer you a solution? By the way, I'm working on a solution, and very soon you may find that solution on Amazon and other places. But that's all I'm going to say about that right now. Okay. Second, you need to go online. If you're looking to create a solution that fixes a real problem, you want a product that makes you money, you need to go online. This is how I became a millionaire. I don't say that word lightly. I don't say that word saying, oh, look at me and how grand I am. I am a human being. If you cut me, I bleed. I have to sleep. Sometimes I get sick. I fight with my wife sometimes. I have problems as a parent. All those things you go through, I do too. I just decided I'm going to do something about that. And that is why many of our students today are multi-millionaires, because they decided to take the training and apply it. And as a result, they now have freedom and margin. The second place you can go is online. It's amazing the problems you will find online and how to solve them. Life Hacks is one of my favorite places to go. Just Google Life Hacks and you're going to see the first website that comes up. On that website is a blog and it says 100 of the best life hacks or something close to that. That thing is amazing. Let me tell you why. It gives you day-to-day problems and solutions for them. Simple example, did you know that if you take lemon peel and drop it into the disposal in your sink, that it will help the smell to go away and it fights bacteria? Now, can you imagine having a product that does that automatically, like a little lemon pod? It's condensed lemon rind. Like what Seth, they could just go buy a lemon. That's how consumers think. Here's how a producer thinks. Here's how a businessman or businesswoman thinks. I can make it super convenient. I can make it super cool. There's little cubes, you drop them in, boom. No one's done this yet. Why hasn't anyone done this yet? It's on Life Hacks. It is a business waiting to happen. Another example is springwise.com. Some of the most cutting edge innovative ideas are on Springwise. They just came out, check this out, with an airplane tray made out of coffee grounds. coffee grounds. Like it's an airplane tray and it's completely eco-friendly. Talk about recycling what we don't need. I mean, people drink so much coffee, it's crazy. Why not use those coffee grounds? That will give you ideas. Life Hacks and Springwise will give you ideas. Thegrommet.com, a ton of new products are launched there. You know, one of the best ways to get new ideas is by looking at other ideas and try to do it throughout the day. Don't just sit down and say, here's my 30 minutes of disciplined study time. No, begin to look at life like that. It's kind of like when you walk into Walmart and your brain's forever affected. And everything you look at, you're like, I could resell that. I could resell that. I could make money. Like you don't even see the product anymore. What you see is cha-ching, those little dollar signs go up in your eyes. Kevin Leary would be proud of you. Critical reviews. If you go to Amazon, you find a product industry you like, let's just say it's workout equipment, and you find something like the weighted vest, and you go study the critical reviews of the competitors, you're going to find some of the best ideas are from those critical reviews on how to fix the problem, because they're complaining about what's wrong with your competitors' products. What you're going to do is create a solution to that. You're going to come out with a superior, better version of one. And when you do it right, it's hard for the competition to catch you. Okay, so there's another place you want to go, not just to yourself, your own, how you view the world, not just online, but also around the world. Let me give you one of my favorite examples. If you were to go to China a few years back, you would have noticed that they had this thing called shared umbrella. It became a multi-billion-dollar industry where you can take an umbrella, use an umbrella, and then put it down, someone else picks it up. And the company, for a while, made a ton of money until people started stealing the umbrellas, but that's another story. There were these guys who went to China, they saw that and they said, you know what, why don't we apply that to scooters? See how one cool idea can spawn another cool idea? People, specifically in Austin, would love a better way to get around because Austin is not as walking oriented as places like New York, New York. So what do? They came up with this idea of scooter sharing. And if you go to Austin downtown right now, and it's in other cities as well, maybe in your city, you'll see a bunch of scooters. This is a massive, massive business just because someone decided to go into a different country. There's something about going into a new country and a new environment, a new culture that causes you to stop, take a break. I'll resist the temptation for Peter's sake not to rap right now. I love you, Peter. But you go to another country and because the environment is different, all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, I'm thinking different about life. The things I used to take for granted, the fact that when I went to this toilet in the Fujian marketplace in China, there's no toilet paper, made me think about toilet paper in a fresh new way. Oh my goodness, I just came up with this really cool idea, how to make toilet paper more easy to put on and off the holder in the bathroom. Get what I'm saying? It will give you new ideas. Okay, so that's number one, create a solution that fixes a real problem. Number two, you need to study the current market. This part I love. Here's why. You're going to buy your competitors' products. You're going to use them. You're going to test them. You're going to find out what you love and what you hate. Now, some people are going to say, well, Seth, what if the product idea I have doesn't exist yet? Listen, buy something as close to that as possible. Let's go back to the example of Dakota. Your product persuades a dog to get a bath. That's actually kind of funny. How to get your dog to get a bath. I don't know. I already see marketing. I see this dog and it's got like one of those shower caps and soap over its body. And it's got the saddest face with the big black eyes, like that mopey face they do to manipulate you into doing what they want. You know what I'm talking about if you love pets. So maybe you don't find a product in the market that does that, but you find a product that persuades dogs not to run outside every time you open the door. Both are about persuasion. In their situation, your competitors, they're keeping a dog from going out. You have to convince a dog how to go in to the shower or to the bath. See where I'm going with that? You need to buy competitors' products. If it's not the exact, buy the closest thing possible. Test it, use it, find out what you love, find out what you hate. Some of your best ideas are going to come from exploring the mind of the inventor who invented this product before you, and all you're doing is building off of their knowledge. It's kind of like science. See what I mean? Over years, science has developed and grown and grown. You don't have to go back and reinvent science. How come people in the 1600s didn't know a lot of things about stopping diseases like tuberculosis until much later in the 1940s? Because they were building off previous knowledge. That's what you're doing. So don't feel like, oh, all the ideas are taken. That's simply not true. I love how Walt Disney put it. He said, if the whole world could know how many sounds have never been heard yet? How amazed people will be. Like, how many sounds are there that the ears have never experienced? That's how you want to approach finding products to fix real problems so you can build a business that gives you cash so that you have margin to do the things you love with the people that you love. Number 3 is visualize your product. Now, this part's going to be a little weird to some of you, and some of you guys are going to love it, depending on your personality. I talked about buying your competitors' products. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get on a whiteboard. Do you know, guys, that in this office, we like half the rooms have a bunch of the walls you can write on them because we're like kids. We like to write on the walls and come up with ideas and explore. We want to stay creative. That's the idea. Right over here is a huge whiteboard. It's taller than me, wider than me. It's huge, and I can write on it anytime I want. I stood in this room, about 2 months ago, working with a new business partner, writing on this wall ideas, and spent hours just brainstorming until we were exhausted. And just by writing it out, you literally, I don't care if you're a bad artist, just write it out. Draw what your product looks like. Go to Google and Google ideas or how-tos for similar products. Get onto YouTube and watch videos. Draw silly pictures until you can see the product in your mind. You have to visualize it. If you skip this step and you go straight to a product engineer, which I'm about to talk about, I promise you, you will create misery for them. They're probably going to fire you, and you're going to want to fire them because they're going to be like, well, what do you want? You got to give me specifics. As the business owner, it is your job to know exactly what you want. Now, they're going to give you ideas. They're going to do research for you, but you cannot skip this step. Additionally, as you think it through and try to experience what it looks like, or grab the competitor product and use it, and then write an idea on the wall, it's total, like, you have to let your brain go. You literally have to think of everything. Anything is possible. This is the creative stage, and have fun with it. Another part of this is you need to anticipate the reasons the product would not work so that you are thinking about a way around those obstacles right now. There will be obstacles, so try to think of those. Earlier, you were talking about a solution. Okay, I found a way to get Dakota to get into the shower to get clean. Right, Dakota? He's over there laying on the couch. Well, now he's looking at me. I wish you guys could see his face right now. He's like, you talking about me? And you got a snack for me? Yeah, I actually do have a snack for you. I'll give it to you in a minute. But what you want to do is, in this stage, you're now figuring out what actually works. So you could almost say the last stage was the idealism stage. This stage is the realism stage, the realistic stage. Step number 4, you're going to hire a product engineer to design the new product. Now, of all these steps, this is the one that most people get hung up on. They say, Seth, where in the world do I find a product engineer? Do I go to Fiverr? Do I go to Upwork? Do I go to FreeUp? Do I Google it? Do I talk to my neighbor? Like, I don't even know where to start. Well, I'm going to show you exactly where to start to remove any of those fears and concerns. First of all, let me just give you a technical term. CAD, also known as computer-aided drafting or computer-aided design or computer-aided drawing, depending on which website you're looking at. It just basically means a computer that helped you draw a design. And these designs are first 2D, and then later they are 3D. They will come in 2 file types, IGES or STEP, as a general rule of thumb. IGES, the last time it was updated, was when I was a teenager. So as a father of 4 teenager children, you can guess that was a little bit of time ago. And I still don't know why people use IGES files. Makes no sense to me. I appreciate my product engineer, but one of them sent me them like, why are you sending me IGES files? Okay. The step files actually create volume. So if I was to take this T as an example, it's not just going to show you the surface, it's going to show you the volume. It's going to give you more of the PMI, more of the information on the manufacturer, the material. It's more 3D. That's the best I can explain it. For those of you guys product engineers, you're welcome to elaborate on that. Now, how do I find one? Well, first of all, an architect, an engineer, a drafter, an artist, these are the kind of people that will do precision drawings or technical illustrations. But you need to be warned of one thing. There are some people who will pose as a product engineer, but they don't have engineering experience or an engineering degree. They're really good at the CAD, the draft, the drawings, but they don't know how to make it work. You see, it's kind of like when you were 10 years old, and I don't know if you did, I did this all the time. I would have a piece of paper like this, or a napkin, and I was always drawing ideas. I had one called the garden grabber. It was 2 rakes. You attach them, and first of all, you can detach them to rake leaves. Then you attach them, and what it would do is it would go like scissors. You could use them to pick up leaves and put them in a bag. I came up with this perfect idea because my mind was in the world of idealism. Cool idea. No one's done anything with it yet. I haven't. So if you want that idea, you're going to have to pay me for the copyright, but no, not seriously. But the problem was I didn't have the knowledge to think through what will physically work. How do the two pieces of wood, assuming they're wooden handles, attach? Do they need a spring? Will it actually work? What if my fingers get smashed when I'm doing this part? How do I detach them? How strong does it need to be? What about weather conditions? Will that plastic against that wood, against that rubber cause any kind of erosion? You see what I mean? There's a lot of factors you have to think about, and that is what a product engineer's job is to do. It's one thing to draw a perfect design, because guess what? You can draw anything, but that doesn't mean it works in the real world. It's kind of like a movie. This movie comes out with this guy named Iron Man who creates this amazing suit. Well, people went out and they tried to recreate that. Now, is it possible? Yes, it is, and some people have done it, but not nearly as amazing as in the movies. So you do need the idea stage, yes, but it has to work in the real world. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and you're spending money on someone who really can't help you. So make sure they're an engineer. Seth, how do I do that? Well, let me give you an example. If your product is mechanical, then you're going to hire a mechanical engineer. If your product is software, you're going to hire a software engineer. If your product is digestible, like treats for Dakota, then you might hire a chemical engineer. In other words, there are so many engineers in the world. There's engineers who make bridges. You have to decide what is the kind of product and the engineer that matches that. Now, if you're wondering, well, how do I know? Just Google it. That part's easy. I just want you to understand the concept. This is how I get the right kind of engineer. Okay, guys, I want you to give me an emoji or something in the chat right now to tell me if this is making sense so far and if you're finding value. And if you're not finding value, give me a thumbs down or something, and I'll ban you. No, I'm joking. Seriously, give me something. I just want to make sure this is helping so far. Where do I go to find an engineer? You can go to Google and literally Google chemical engineer, mechanical engineer. And then you can go look at their degree. They don't have to have a degree, but in most cases they probably should. But what they do have to have is have experience. And you're gonna ask questions like this. What's your degree? Where'd you go to school? Can you believe I'm talking about formal education? Like, I'm this guy who's like, learn it on your own. You'll learn so much more. You make so much more money. But in this situation, it really helps because there are some technical details they have got to know. Second, and more importantly, show me some of the products that you designed. I want to see them. Did they sell? Do they work? Do people love them? Do people hate them? Again, you need to vet them. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a lot of time and heartache. Awesome. So we got thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. You gave me a middle finger. Why? Oh, no, that's okay. I thought you were giving me the middle finger, but you gave me. Okay, cool. Awesome. What's up, Eric? Good to see you, brother. Okay, Leon, thank you. Thank you very much. You got me back on track. Not just Google. Go to FreeUp, FREEEUP.com. I want to do a shout out to Nathan. The reason I recommend his company a lot is because I respect him and his integrity. He is a good man. This guy has marketed so faithfully. He has built something slowly and carefully and wisely. And I think Fiverr and what's the other one, guys? Upwork should be nervous because I think he's going to take over at the rate he's going. You can still go to Fiverr. Did you notice that Fiverr was getting so many crappy applicants to offering services that they finally said, you know what, we're going to offer a premium one where they're more vetted. They're trying to adjust because everyone and their uncle's on Fiverr. There are people on Fiverr who will do Mario voiceovers for you, people who will pretend like they're a doctor or from the Doctor Who series and just do a video. It's like, it's really funny. If you want to entertain yourself and you're exhausted, go to Fiverr and find all the weirdest people offering to do services. Maybe I'll do a YouTube video like that if you guys think I should. Okay. So the other place you can go is Upwork or Fiverr, but I strongly recommend FreeUp. I would also Google it. At the end of the day, it's not the platform where you find them that is so important, okay? What is so important is that once you find them, you vet them. That's the important part. I don't care so much where you find them as I do that you vet them. But if you use something like FreeUp, it is going to give you a massive advantage. Now, there's something here I want to mention that I forgot to put it in my notes, and I want to apologize. Please forgive me. I should have added this, but I'm going to tell you right now. If I was to add another step after this one, before the last two steps, it is protect your product. I'm going to give you a website that I've had a lot of success with so far. You ready? Up Counsel. Just Google Up Counsel. This will give you a platform of lawyers. And you have to be careful about lawyers. I know everyone says it's in all the jokes, but you just have to be wise that your lawyer knows the product industry you are in. They're an expert at that. Some people think, oh, I got a lawyer, I'm good to go. No, there's litigation lawyers. there's patent lawyers, there's trademark lawyers. There are so many kinds of lawyers, you wouldn't believe it. So what you need to do is you're going to go to Up Counsel and you just follow the little step-by-step interview process, and you'll narrow it down to what you want. If your product is not just common sense, but it's actually a little bit ingenious, then you have a strong chance of getting a patent called a utility patent. These last for a couple decades. If you can't get that, you can go for a design patent. These last time I checked, if I remember right, is 7 years. Tell me if that's right, guys. Just Google it or something really quick. I'm pretty sure if I remember right, it's 7 years. They don't last as long, they don't cost as much, and they're easier to get around. Either way, getting a patent will protect you a lot. Now, I've gone to Indiegogo multiple times. I actually have a product on there that I tried to buy, and I'm not going to go into it right now. But Indiegogo as well as Kickstarter, and you will see some of these companies say patent pending. And you go look for the patent, it's not there. You go to Justia, you go to Google Patents, you just Google, you go to uspto.gov, and the patent does not exist. Don't do that. I know what they're doing. They're trying to lie to keep you from having competition, but it's someday that may come around, bite them in the butt when someone says, hey, you made $2 billion, but you did it off a lie. We were going to come up with that idea. You claim to have the idea, so I'm taking you down. And they're like, oh, shoot, why did I do that? That's called short-term results that can result in long-term loss. Don't do it. Here's the cool thing about a patent. I'm going to give you a little secret, okay? Be careful how you say this to your lawyer, by the way. If the product turns out not to be patentable, the entire time it's patent pending, you're still warding off a lot of would-be competitors because it's patent pending. You're pending, and it's a process. It'll take 2 to 3 years. It could cost you anywhere easily from $4,000 to $20,000. You can do one patent for the US, kind of like a trademark, and another one for the European Union. You could do it all together. It's a process. European Union is more expensive, but more efficient than the US. Surprises me, actually. But that it's not that it's more expensive, but it's more efficient in this situation. It's really cool. Get a patent lawyer and find out, vet them as well, how many patents have you done? Just because they say they're a lawyer doesn't mean crap. I don't care if they have a degree. Do they actually understand how to do it? This will help protect your idea. This will ward off competitors. This will make it much easier for you to exclusively sell on Amazon. Now, let me give you just a pro tip. Ready? Check this out, you guys. I think you guys are going to love this. This is called a boulevard. Anyone in here from the Ukraine, by the way? I'm just curious. Anybody? This is a boulevard. This goes back to the ancient history. Kings and rulers with power were given these. I once went to Ukraine. I taught a class, and the Russians there, they're really cool people. They're super blunt. They're serious, but they love you. It's like so cool. And you make jokes, and they look at you like, did he just joke? I don't know. Did he joke? What are you talking about? So they gave this to me as a gift for teaching them. And this is a boulevard. Now, dang it, I completely lost my train of thought because a boulevard is so fascinating to me. I can't even remember what I was going to tell you. Oh my goodness, completely blanked. It'll come back, I promise. Back to patents. Make sure you vet your lawyer. Make sure you protect it. Oh, I remember now. Let's say you create a real high value boulevard and you're selling these on your Shopify website. Okay, like really high quality. They cost $79 a piece. Go to Amazon and sell a knockoff version of this under a different brand name. No, I did not just say that. I'm serious, guys, it works. What I'm telling you is you can help dominate the freaking market if you come out with 2 different brand identities and it's totally legal. You have your high quality one online, you got the knockoff version on Amazon, and it's much cheaper. What happens is you're making money from both, and the data you get from both platforms is so sickening awesome. You will smash the competition. It works. Please take it from someone who lives it. Okay, by the way, it's a knockoff of your own product. I'm not talking about a knockoff of a real one, okay? You can be a knockoff. You can be a hijacker of your own product. It's kind of fun. Okay, next, Ukrainians, Russians are the same. They're not. Fair enough, Durbo, they're not. But okay, let me go back. These guys actually spoke Russian. Does that help a little bit? Okay, going on to, the other one I was going to say is digestible higher chemical engineer, but we talked about that. Number 5, get a prototype created. Get a prototype created. Now, what is a prototype? A prototype means the first physical sample of the product. So if your product is this super cool pipe, because it's a cool pipe, then you need a physical product of it. Maybe it's plastic, no problem. Here's a Sherlock Holmes pipe. You need a physical 3D literal version of it. Now, how do you do this? You go to your product engineer, or you go to a molding company. You say, look, I need a prototype. I'm going to give you my CAD drawings. Here they are. Make this for me. And they're going to charge you anywhere from 200, 125 if it's from China, up to 600, 700 if it's from the US for that single prototype. It's expensive, but you have to have it. They're going to use what's called a 3D printer, which usually is going to be limited to a resin like ABS. For example, polyurethane will not work. Polypropylene doesn't work with a 3D printer, but ABS does. So if you're looking for a different kind of plastic, that prototype may not be exactly your final product, but at least it shows you the dimensions, the feel, what is it like? Does it actually work? This thing is fake, there's no hole, but this one's real. I could smell it, which you could. You're going to receive that. You're going to look at it. You're going to decide if you like it. Now, you ready for the next part? This part most people are not willing to do. You need to ship it to industry experts. If your product is a physical fitness equipment type product, you need to get it in the hands of people who first signed a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, meaning they cannot go sell the product or share it with someone. And if they do, you'll sue their butt. But they understand the industry probably better than you, unless you're a fitness expert, assuming it's a fitness product. So they use it and they give you feedback and they tell you what they love and they tell you what they hate and they tell you what they would change. And then you go back to the drawing board, literally, and you recreate your product based on their feedback. Now, why do you think most people skip this step? Because it takes a freaking lot of time. This is not an easy step, my friends. You know what? It is so worth it because you're asking real people who are going to be the most picky. Who's most picky? A connoisseur of tea or someone who just drinks it for the caffeine lift? Who's going to be more picky? Someone who smokes a pipe like Gandalf and Sherlock Holmes in the same pub drinking rum and having a great time? Or someone who just does it every now and then because it's cool? You get what I'm saying? It's so important that you get real feedback and let them tear into the product. Look, I want you to be honest with me. I won't be offended. Tell me what you love and hate about this. You're going to help me. Do not do it with some buddies and friends who are codependent and are afraid to step on toes and they live their life walking on eggshells, which is never a great way to live. Most people who live like that don't actually make a lot of money because they're living out of fear instead of opportunity. But that would be a motivational video, so I will bring my brain back to you. You're going to recreate it. It's going to cost you time and money. It is worth it because once you launch, you have confidence now. People love it. Do you know that a lot of products that start on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, they get all the funding they need? And that sounds great and it looks successful, but a lot of them never get off the ground as a company because people sent them money because the idea looks good. And you can make a video make anything look amazing, but it actually doesn't work in real life. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Next step, and then I'll get to your questions. Last step, guys, you're going to start production. When you go into production, you want to negotiate based on quantity. Now, there's several options to do this. You have to decide, are you going to have it produced domestically or internationally? We do both. Internationally doesn't just have to be China. With the tariffs, it's opened up an opportunity. The increased tariffs, thank you to Trump, has opened up opportunities with other countries. Now, whether or not you like Trump is irrelevant. I like some things he's done, some things I think he does are crazy. It doesn't matter. What matters to me is where can I make money? How can I build this business right? So you need to determine using a sourcing agency or if you're going to go factory direct. If you go to global sourcing, I spoke with the owner 3 to 4 days ago. He's super busy right now, as we all are, because of the fall. As you know, the last quarter's here and it's crazy. He, though, is a really cool guy. And he's like, Seth, look, we can help. We do not actually do the CAD drawings. We are not product engineers. But if you give us CAD drawings, we will take them. We will produce the product. If you need to make a few tweaks, like small ones, like the size or the color or something like that, we can do that. And we'll take care of the whole process for you. And when you're ready for a reorder, we'll do it. And so you can guess what my next question was, well, how much do you guys charge? 15 to 30% of the production quality. Now, if you are new to business, you might think, oh my goodness, I just lost 15 to 30% of my profit margin. Maybe not. Because remember, time can be money depending on how fast you are to market. And the first person to market almost always ends up owning the majority market share, even if they have an inferior product. So if they're going to manage the process for you, the phone calls and all that, and while they're doing that, you're focusing on the marketing, that's awesome. In fact, once you launch your product and it's going and it's raging and it's going fast, you're going to spend 80 to 90% of your time focusing on the marketing, making sure production is good. So if you have a company do that for you, it gives you an advantage. Now, a lot of product engineers already have connections, or they work for a company that has their own factories, or they lease a factory that is located in Vietnam or China or India or somewhere else, or they actually own the factory. So it depends. You need to look at your options, but don't count out having them manage the process for you. Now, if you want, especially those of you guys going to China with us in a couple months now, which I can't believe it's in November, it's going to be super cool. You can talk to these factories directly, these shops that represent the factories, and you can talk to them and say, do I want to go factory direct? Like, does it make sense? If it cuts the cost in half, yeah, it might be worth that extra time that it takes. Okay, guys, it has been awesome. I hope you have gotten a ton of value out of this. What I just gave you in the last 30, oh my goodness, it's already been over 30 minutes and I drank like one sip of this. What I just gave you in the last over 30 minutes is a combination of years of doing this. Now I'm gonna answer your questions the best I can. And if you can stump me, I'll send you an iPad. All right, let's do this. Okay, on to the questions. What's up, Richard Kinnison? What's up? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Love your knowledge, Seth, says Aaron Daniels. I always try to build prototypes, then ask my customer list to see what they think about this new product. Aaron, that is brilliant. How to be your associate. Send me an email, seth@justonedime.com. And just like you would do with a customer or a supplier, what value do you bring me? And how can I bring value to you? That's what matters the most. We're always open to collaborations. Thank you so much. That's kind of awesome to knock off your own product. I know, isn't it, Ashley? By the way, if you guys haven't checked it out, Ashley and I started a podcast exactly 1 week ago from yesterday. If you go to podcast.justonedime.com, you're going to hear the story of how a brand new Amazon e-commerce seller is learning this as she goes. And she's going to ask questions that you guys would ask that I might take for granted because I've been doing this for a while. All right. Magnet of New York, Mart, Ukrainian here. Awesome. I want to, let's see. Great content. Thank you so much. Sent Josiah an email yesterday. Sorry it was so long. It's all right, Ingrat. Josiah's a good man. He's a rock. Okay, here's the first question to see. Reza, Seth, do I really need to trademark my company logo, which cost me $1,200? It's about right. I cannot justify this cost at the moment. Can I get away with no trademark logo? Thank you. Great question. And this question applies to every single person in this room, and I'll tell you why in a minute. You will trademark at some point, but I would not start with your logo. I would start with the name. You're going to get a word mark, not a logo mark, a word mark trademark, because that's what's required in order to sell on Amazon, assuming you want this product to be on Amazon as well as the website you build, the Shopify, e-commerce, whatever you choose, or eBay. It will take time. So when you have the money, begin the process. If you don't have the money now, don't worry about it. You need to build your product. You need to start selling. You need to move to cash quickly. The day will come when $1,200 is like a dime to you because of the money you make. When I started, $1,200 was a ton to me. Now it's like, well, of course, spend the money. But that's easy for me to say because I went through the time and the pain to get here. Guys, you don't have to have all your costs ready to go up front and pay them. Build as you go. Start as a sole proprietor. Start with an individual seller account, though I'd move to a professional account pretty quick, like maybe in 2 days. Okay, at least once you launch, you got to. Don't start with the trademark. That's fine. Start with the product and start making money. And then later when you have enough money, you need to do it. Upwork is great photographer for Amazon Picks. Totally agree, Purple. Absolutely. I'm trying to join the Just One Dime next week. I love how you said the Just One Dime. That's super cool. We are the Just One Dime. I can't wait for you to be there. If you guys are wondering what Anthony's talking about, will you go somewhere really quick? justonedime.com/freedom. Again, justonedime.com/freedom. How much is a real price for an engineer? It depends. So they can charge $150 an hour. They can charge $450 an hour. Usually they're going to give you an hourly rate, and then they're going to send you some kind of document where they update their hours as you go so you can track that process. It's really important, though. The more you know about what you want, the more educatively, that's not even a word, knowledgeably, you can speak to them and vet them and make sure they're doing what you want them to do. One thing I'll say, guys, when you work with any supplier engineer, be respectful, but set the expectations high from the beginning. It's like any relationship. How you start tends to be how it goes. And if you try to change lanes after you're going 120 miles an hour, it's a little more risky than if you change lanes when you're going 5 miles an hour. when we design a product that's unique in the market, do we then need to patent it before giving the design over to a factory? This is a brilliant question, Lynn. I almost want to send you an iPad because it's a great question, but you really didn't stop me because I got an answer. So I'll tease you with an iPad, but you're not getting one. Really good question. The reason Lynn is asking this is because a factory in China or other countries could steal your idea. And the only way to protect it is if you go to WIPO, WIPO.int. And most Amazon sellers are not willing to do this because of the time and hassle. And I don't blame you. In most situations, you probably don't need to. But if you really want to protect it from China factories, that's where you go. Oh, no, Seth, they signed an NDA. They signed an agreement. They're really nice. They said they call me friend or dear. Doesn't matter. They can still do it and they can lie. Not against Chinese at all. It's just a fact. Their culture is different. To lie in family is horrible. To lie in business could be good business. That's how they approach their values. And so it's a different world. So try to understand that. So to answer your question, you want to get a patent pending on it as soon as you can before you have any factory get that CAD design. Remember, the patent will take, if it's a utility patent, 2 to 3 years to get approved. But you want to get it started. You got to get patent pending on it, and that will help you. Now, it's not going to protect you from the Chinese factory. What it will protect you is from this. If that Chinese factory starts to produce your product and sell it on Alibaba to other sellers, you go after the sellers, not the factory. And as you guys know, Amazon continues to become more and more rigid with protecting products. If you have a trademark, if you have a patent, if you have a copyright, they respond to you 10 times faster because you did the groundwork to protect it. You didn't just say, oh, I'm going to sell a Boulevard. Why are they selling it? Well, yeah, Amazon doesn't really care. For all they know, you could be reselling it like arbitrage. No problem, Victoria, no problem. Very useful, awesome. Super, super glad to hear that. I continue to scroll up. Okay, next question. Thank you, Ashley. Podcast.justonedime.com. What if you design a new product and no one wants it? Great question, Tom. Thank you, brother. And I can answer that for you. This is why one of the first points I made is you have to start with a problem. Find out what people are suffering with. Or every product, it either it removes a pain or adds pleasure. Every product does that. And really good products can actually do both. So it removes pain or adds pleasure. Just remember those two P's. Find a problem that people struggle with. You already know it's a problem. So now your question isn't, do they think it's a problem? Your real question is, do they find my solution feasible? How do you do that? Well, you study them. You buy your competitors' products. I mean, if someone bought an inferior pipe and they loved it because it had this cool curve, but people are complaining about the curve being not curvy enough, this is kind of a lame example, but you get what I'm saying, right? Then you pretty much have the market research is there. The evidence is there. They complained about it in the reviews. You saw it in the Facebook forums. You saw it in the group chats. People don't like that it's not curved more. So you already know they want it. So then you're pretty safe to go all the way to getting that prototype. Costs money, I know. But then when you have industry experts try it out, they give you really good feedback. So notice you're vetting your idea, you're testing its viability every step of the way until you finally go into production. Now, is there risk, Tom? Is there a chance it could go flat? Absolutely. And I want to say this, fall in love with risk, give it a hug and a kiss, not being sarcastic here, like really, truly become okay with the fact that you will fail your way into success, just as I have had to and continue to. How many shots did Michael Jordan miss before he became the world-renowned basketball player? And I know you guys feel like there's a up-and-coming guy who could beat him, but, you know, I can't help it. 90s kid. Michael Jordan was the best. So, Stump Seth. So, oh boy, here comes a big one. So I enrolled in Amazon FBA Small and Light when I first joined Amazon. My first inventory came into the warehouse over 1,000 units and in the middle of processing, but is marked stranded. So you need to contact Amazon and ask them where it is. If it's stranded, that means something happened. I do have a question. When you cased it up, did you do it? When you boxed it up, which option did you pick on how you case it? There's two ways you can do it. You can do it in individual cases or you can do it mixed. If you do it mixed, the chance of it being stranded is much higher. But you have to contact them and ask them to track it down for you. Word mark is 225. You do it yourself without a lawyer. That is correct. Thank you so much. By the way, guys, that is at uspto.gov. People show their hand quickly if you're like, thank you so much. Okay, let me read Juana's. While waiting, that isn't the end of your question. While waiting, I found out a small light doesn't give primary shipping to customers. Is there a way to disenroll, become regular FBA without doing a removal order? No, you have to do a removal because it has to be packed in a different way. Your entire listing has to be changed. So you can't send it in and then shift it over. You have to have a removal order and resend it back in. Quite expensive to remove, I know. In all respect, I want to say this. In all respect, you've got to do your research before you do it. Here's what I want to compliment you on. You moved to action quickly. Good job. That is in your nature. I can see it. That's good. But it'll save you time. Do your research first before you send those things in to save you time. But I know this is not going to hold you back. This is just another one of those obstacles you're going to get over as you continue. I have an idea. Email me at jasonalex. I've been in contact with Bill Nye as well as the French president. Bill Nye, the science guy. It creates free electricity. Need help? Multi-billion-dollar idea collab. So do this, Jason. Send me an email, seth@justonedime.com, and we'll see. I'm not saying this to sound fancy, you guys. I get offers like this multiple times a day, and therefore I am very picky about who I will work with. So I have to know the person. I have to know the idea. You got to be you're gonna have to sell me on it. And if I'm convinced, man, I'll respond. Well, either way, I'll respond. But yeah, absolutely, just send me an email. Please do. And boom. What's up, Sam? Good to see you. Okay, let me find. I'm going to answer one more question, then I got to go because it's 12:47. What brings a knockoff? Do you mean what is it? A knockoff is simply like a counterfeit or inferior version of a product that is already out there. I got to answer one more question. I love this question. Joseph says, I'm needing to get my storefront going. I've been watching your videos for a bit, and I'm curious how to try and incorporate my current setup in Amazon. Joseph, I have an answer for you, my friend. If you haven't yet, join us. We'll show you every freaking step of the way how to build a business. And here's how I designed the coaching membership of Just One Dime. It's a business that works for you instead of you working for it, so that when you are sleeping and you grab your phone, you pull it out and you look at your Seller Central, you are richer than you were the day before. Guys, it's been awesome. Hope you have an awesome day. Everybody out there, keep going, and I will see you next time. Cheers to you, my friends.